Okay, welcome back, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good day. The weather here is just phenomenal. Clear skies, although it's cold, but it's refreshing to see after all the dreary rain and stuff. But the Hi Roxanne, um, the weather report is saying snow on Thursday, so we shall see. And this is in regards to the snowstorm that I'm waiting for. So we'll see if it is. If it is, then really things will be ramping up very quickly. And today also was Trump's trial, which is ridiculous to impeach him. You can only impeach a sitting president, and he's no longer there. So the fact that they're trying any way they can, if they can impeach him now, then he can't run for presidency in 2024. But they're going along, changing all the rules, uh, doing whatever that they can. And my thought was maybe he is the president. Maybe they know and things are going to get uncovered. But exciting times. I can't believe that, all this is happening, but dang. Let's say hi to everybody. Let's see Roxanne and Happy Gordon and Mind and Mikey OG. So I'll just wait. Kim's not going to be in here today because she had some other things she had to do. So, and I don't think Stacy Davis is going to be in here. So it might look a little light in here. I don't know. I don't know too much more of what's going on. Just basically same old stuff, just waiting. Let's see. Oh, it's Mikey. Cool. Mikey OG. Let's see. Hey girl, happy garden gnome. So I hope yesterday wasn't too, much, but it really isn't that, hard to understand once you break it down and then it's like, oh, okay. But the way that it's written, it's like trying to decipher the timelines. And so we'll break it down today, and then it'll just, when you look at it, it'll be like, oh, okay. But a lot of people get stumped on that. So you'll be like, oh, I know how to do that. And they're like, wow. Let's see. Old group org. That's what Mike Yogg says. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this started. And just do a quick reference back into Daniel chapter 9. There we go. So we were on 26 and 27, and I'm just going to read it through real quick again and then we'll get started. Okay. Well, actually on 25. So know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandments, so when God had basically said it to restore and to build Jerusalem, the city, as in Nehemiah, unto Messiah the Prince, which is up to Christ, and where they reported that they announced that he was the Messiah, shall be 7 weeks. That's 49 years, and therefore 3 and 2 weeks, and that would be the total of the 69. So, okay, the street shall be built again, and the wall, which is kind of a measuring wall, to the end, even in troublous times. So 26, and after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, and not from himself. Let's see, because he was rejected, and Daniel basically prophesied for it. I don't know. There's two types of prophecies of him coming in. That was his purpose, was to come in and take over. But since he was rejected, now we got to go this route. And okay, and the people, the Roman people, of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the then thereof shall be with a flood. So it's got two things. You have the Messiah coming in and being cut off. The next thing we will see is a Christ-like figure, the Antichrist, coming in before the real Christ comes back. So just remember this: when the real Christ comes back, then let's see, if when the real Christ comes in, you're going to be changed into your spiritual bodies. So, when this guy comes in claiming to be God, claiming to be Christ in the return of that, just pinch yourself. If you're still in your flesh body, then you really it's the fake. That's like the easiest one. But so then, and unto the end of the war, which is up to the full end of the war, the end times of the last 7 years. Okay, desolations are determined, measured out, it's counted. So a lot of people say Christ is going to return at any moment, and no, there's signs leading up to it, and you can follow those signs, and the wise do follow it, the watchmen, and so they tell other people and they sound the alarm. All right, this is 27. And he shall confirm the covenant with the many, and we'll keep going through this because there's a lot to go in that itself, like Daniel chapter 11 with the League of Nations and getting that covenant signed. And then he breaks the covenant and he puts the desolation, the abomination in there himself, claiming to be God. But okay, and he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. That is the last week, or the last 7 years, which has been taken down to 150 days, or a 5-month period. And that is kind of important to know, because months and days in prophecy are a lot different. Anything in months or in moons is shorter time. And you'll see this in Revelation chapter 11, verses 2 and 3, where you have the temple area and the court outside being measured for destruction and getting things prepared. And then you have Satan coming in to desolate it. and his is in 42 months. But the two witnesses right after that verse is 1,260 days. So for the two witnesses. So actually you can think of it this way that the two witnesses comes right before the sixth trump. So it's in that period to start watching for him when you see the League of Nations coming together, the world coming together, and you hear peace, 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 then you know. All right. So, and in the midst of the week, that's the last 200 or the last 75 days out of the 150 days, or the last 3.5 years of Daniel's timeline of 7 years. Okay, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease, and for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate, because he's going to say he's God, even until the consummation that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. So we're going to go back here to the appendix in the companion Bible, and you can look that up. It's actually on Google, you can look it up. It's the companion Bible appendix. And this is what we were studying from yesterday. It is appendix 89 and 90. And if you can get a copy of this or something, it really helps to understand and break things down even better than I could say it. So we went through the 5 specific periods of time yesterday, and these are the ones of Daniel chapter 7:25, and then 8:14, 12:7, 11, and 2. So the 25 time in Daniel 25, or Daniel chapter 7, verse 25, is the midst of the week of 1,260 days. And then you have in Daniel chapter 8, verse 14, the 2,300 days. Okay, and then in Daniel chapter 9, in the midst of the week, so you're in the midst of the week, this is the last half, the 1,260 days, and then in Daniel chapter 11, you have 3 things: a vile person, the daily sacrifice is taken away, and then the abomination of desolation is set up, and then at verse 40, it's the end. And then on Daniel chapter 12, you have that time period with the midst of the week, and this is the one that we're going through now. I just kind of want to briefly, just refresh. Okay, so in Daniel chapter 12, the midst of the week, the 1,260 days, which is the first half and then the second half. Then you have the 1,290 days, okay? And then you have the 1,335 days. So, now this isn't going by the Gregorian calendar. This is going by the Jewish calendar, by solar. So you have for 1 year is 360 days, and you want to times that by 7, which gives you a total of 2,520 days. So this is we're just talking about the last week, okay? And so you can divide that also and get, for the first half, 1,260 days, and then the 1,260 days later. Now, on the last is where we're going to be adding that time, okay? So just to go through this real quick, the prince that shall come is the Antichrist, will make a covenant for 1 week. So he's going to make it for that entire period, that whole 7 years or that 5 months. But after the 3.5 years, on grounds not stated, he breaks this covenant or the League of Nations in 11, from chapter 21 to I think it's 25, is basically him coming in. The daily sacrifice is taken away, the abomination set up, and Jacob's trouble begins. Now, in Revelation, Jacob's trouble comes in where this is where the 7,000 are taken up to be delivered up to allow the Holy Spirit to speak through them. So at this time, at the last half, that's when everybody's going to be delivered up to be witness against what's going on. And also at that time, in Revelation chapter 11:3, you're going to have the two witnesses there. So there's going to be a lot of signs that you'll be able to identify like right away. Okay. So it won't be that hard. Okay. Now, in the midst of the week, that determines both the co and the adquem of these numbered days, and they are numbered. In 8:14, it stated, then all shall the sanctuary be cleansed. So in 8:14, after the 1,260 days, then all the periods synchronize while the last column of 5 and 6 are extended. So you have the first half of 1,260 days, and then you have the added 30 days. Okay. So prolonged beyond the close of the 1,260 days by a significant period of days, 30 days and 75 days, respectively. So the first of these, at the end, when Christ returns, you have 1,000. So wait, the first of these is a total of 1,290 days. And what you do is you add 1,260 plus the 30. That is the time of the cleansing, of building the temple, getting it ready for the marriage, for the ceremony. And that the ceremony, let's see, is 45 days, but altogether you have the 30 and uh, the the 30 and then the 45 days, which makes it a total extra of 75 days. We'll keep going through this. Okay. So with the regard of 1,335 days in the end of Daniel chapter 12, okay, and this is of chapter 12, verse 12. This is the 260 days with an excess of the 75 days. So those all together. This again being as an excess of 45 days beyond the 1,290. So beyond the what we just went through, adding the 30 days. So you just add them together, but um, to separate them at the same time because there's two different things that are going to be happening. You have the cleansing, and then you have the ceremony, the reunion. Everybody who had made it through the great white or the time of trouble, you'll have the 7,000 very elect who are the priest with uh, with Yeshua, and then you have the 144,000 who are also priests on the outer side of the court. And then you have all those at that time that need to be taught because they ended up worshiping the false Messiah, not not doing it on purpose. I mean, there are some that will be in the great white throne judgment and during the millennium just waiting for judgment. So, but this just pertains to all of those that made it through and now they're ready to meet the bride. So, and that is the last period of that 75 days. Okay. So it's basically this. You just add this to the 1,260 days, 30 days for the dry bones, the teaching, building the temple, and all that period of time. And then you have plus the 45 days for the ceremony itself and everybody coming in and um, we can go over to, we've already did this Psalms, but we'll go over it again. And this is the day of trouble, Jacob's trouble. And this is on Psalms 20. And we can go through it really fast because we've already gone through it before. Okay, so the Lord hear thee in the day of trouble. So Jacob's trouble, this is concerning everybody really, but especially for those who will be standing up against the false Messiah. The name of Elohim of Jacob defend thee, send thee help from the sanctuary, and strengthen or sustain thee out of Zion, city of David. Remember all thy offerings. So remember my works and accept thy burnt sacrifice. So, all the things that I've done for you. So remember that. Then grant thee according to thine own heart and fulfill all thy counsel. So that even at this time when we're all preparing to go through this, if you're having problems understanding, just ask, just seek with all your heart and all your mind. Sometimes you have to just let it go and go on to something else and come back. But you will, if you seek with your whole heart and mind, you will get it. You will be given that. We will rejoice in thy salvation, and in the name of our God Yahweh, we will set up our banners. And in the end time, we have the plumb line. Also in Isaiah, I believe it's 59, where he sets up the banner. You're the banner between for the people. You will be considered a hero actually after you are delivered up in the millennium. You'll be considered a hero because you did stand up for it, but you're the banner. Okay, the Lord will fulfill all thy petitions. Now know I that the Lord saveth his anointed. And this is the Messiah. He will hear him from his holy heaven with the saving strength. So his inherent might, I mean, he's creator of all. And with his right hand, some by trust in chariots and some in horses. But we will remember the name of the Lord our God, Yahweh. They are brought down and fallen. That's what's coming. But we are risen and stand and are established. We stand upright. So the upright ones, when Israel went astray in Ezekiel 43 and 44, talking about the 144,000 that went astray, whereas the 7,000 kept that plumb line. So there is a difference between the two types of priests, but even in the end, the 144,000 will come back and their sins forgiven. So, you know, it is a tragedy in a sense, but still, that's just how it goes. It goes back from the first earth age and how you stood, against Satan, and his rebellion. So whatever lot that you have in life now really was a leftover from the first earth age. Okay, save Yahweh. Let the King hear us when we call in that day. And he will. You just have to get closer with him. Okay, so we're going to go over to Psalms 45, and this is pertaining to that time when we're all together, when the temple is cleansed. And let's see. Yeah, when the wife comes together. So I'll just go through it pretty quickly. Okay, my heart is inditing a good manner. I speak of the things which I have made, touching the king. My tongue is the pen of a ready writer. So this is the psalmist saying this, and then the next is inspired. Okay, thou art fairer than the sons of Adam. And this is talking about the Messiah and his suffering. Grace is poured into thy lips. Therefore, God or the Elohim hath blessed thee forever. So they're talking about the Messiah, and he's coming up to the queen. Gird thy sword upon thy thigh, O most high, or most mighty. Geber there for a mighty soldier strong, with thy glory and thy majesty. So, I mean, we're all going to have different types of clothing during that time, but it is the works that your clothes are made from. So, naturally, Christ is going to have that two-edged sword, which is the Word of God, and will be behind him. And in thy majesty ride prosperously, because or on behalf of truth and meekness and righteousness. And thy right hand shall teach thee terrible things. So good things and awesome things. Things that this this world right now, it's too hard to even fathom about. But once you get into your spiritual body and the cleansing of the temple and things get set up and this crowd and all the people around it getting ready to commence to go through this ceremony, but then to start after the teaching. Okay, thine arrows are sharp in the midst, uh, yeah, in the midst of the king's enemies. So, that God has his own types of arrows that he shoots at the enemy. The enemy has his own type that shoot at us. But if we have the full armor of God on, it bounces off us and goes back to them. Okay, whereby the people or the peoples shall fall under thee. So Christ is the king, priest, and ruler. So, and that makes over all the world. You'll have the nations set up, and as far as this is regarding the 12 tribes, but this same type of ceremony could also go on in their area as well. The Bible doesn't really talk about it, it just talks about how the kings and queens of the ethnos come into the city to worship. Okay, verse 6 Thy God, or thy throne, O Elohim, is forever and ever. So this is putting Christ in with the Godhead of God. So Yahweh, the Son, um, him as a ruler. Okay, is forever and ever. The scepter of thy kingdom is a right scepter. The ruler with the rod of iron, no nonsense. Thou lovest righteousness and hatest wickedness or lawlessness, rebellion. And that's really what the fallen angels are going to be bringing in is this lawlessness, this rebellion, going completely against God and setting up their own religion. Therefore, God, Elohim, thy Elohim, hath anointed thee with the oil of gladness above thy companions. So he's the head, he's the ruler. In the millennium, you're going to have God above still in a different dimension, and then you're going to have the temple, then you're going to have the 7,000 very elect who are in that inner. You'll have the 144,000 going out into the outer, the darkness, to get people to come back in. And it's just going to have just a lot of worship and a lot of work. It really is. When I had seen it, it was just busy. And you have days, but you don't have nights. So it's like you get up in the morning, you do your job, and then you come home back to your house where your family is and things like that, and you have that time there, and you just keep doing it over. So, time, 1,000 years is time. So, that, like in Daniel's time. Okay, so that all thy garments smell of myrrh and aloes and cassia out of the ivory places whereby they have made thee gold. So in the Old Testament, they used to use like a lot of incense and myrrh and things like that. So it's just saying that, he's surrounded in that, and that smell is on him. King's daughters were among thy honorable women. Now, this is like the maid of honor, the maids of honor. And in the ceremony where you're going to have the 7,000 very elect and the kings and queens of the ethnos, whether they're there or not, I would think they would be, but um, you'll have all them, and then in back, like the maids of honors, uh, being set back. Because at that time, if you ended up worshiping the false Messiah, you can't approach um, Yeshua. You have to stand back. You have to wait until after the millennium in the eternity when you can. So you'll have them set back, the maids of honor being all the peoples and that made it through the tribulation period. Okay, so the king's daughters were among thy honorable women, the maids of honor. Upon thy right hand did stand the queen of in gold of Ophir. So this is talking about the marriage back at that time, but it's also talking about what is coming, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Hearken, O daughter, and consider and incline thine ear. So this is the queen. Forget also thine own people and thy father's house. So shall the king greatly desire thy beauty, for he is thy Lord, and worship thou him. And the daughter of Tyre shall be there with a gift, even the rich among the people shall entreat thy favor. So some of this is being mixed in with the timetables here, but even in the time of Tyre, the nations, will they be there at that time? The kings and queens and their maids? I don't know, but the king's daughter is all glorious within. Her clothing is wrought of gold. And remember, for this ceremony, how we'll be dressed, it will be just, I mean, really probably mind blowing and beautiful. You'll be in your spiritual bodies. And I saw like two or three different types of clothing that we wear in the millennium when we're in the inner circle in that area helping Christ. And then we have different clothes when we go out into the outer court. And things that we wear when we are judging, helping to judge, and things like that. But this is a separate time, that commencement. So it'll be something really cool. She shall be brought unto the king in raiment of needlework. And that raiment is the works, the good works that you have done here on earth that you bring up with you. The virgins, her companions that follow her, shall be brought unto thee. So all of the 7,000 very elect and the virgins, this is going back to when the Antichrist gets here. They do not bend a knee to Baal. In Romans chapter 11, that 7,000 set aside that won't. So it's talking about you, but also those that the 144,000, along with those that have come out of the Gulf. But again, they have to stay back. Okay, the virgins and the 144,000 are basically forgiven and considered virgins again. So the virgins, her companions that follow her, shall be brought unto thee. With the gladness and rejoicing shall they be brought. They shall enter into the king's palace. Instead of thy fathers shall be thy children, whom thou mayest make princes in all the earth. I will make thy name to be remembered in all generations. And you can go back to Revelation 19, 7 and 9 with the return of Christ. Therefore shall the people praise thee forever and ever. So when Christ does return, everything is changing into the spiritual realm. And trust me, everything's going to be so much better at that time. It's just, you can't even really compare, the glory that's in there. And let's see. So you got the day of trouble or the Jacob's trouble, which is on Psalms 45 or Psalms 20. And we've gone over it again. And then Psalms 45 with the nuptials and, everything in the millennium is ceremonial and it's really cool. So everything is done right, exact. People come in, very king-like type things, a kingdom. It's hard to explain, but you won't have, like corporations and things like that there. Everybody is working for the kingdom. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and stop here today because yesterday we went into it a lot, and I just don't want to overwhelm people. So, just to go through this very quickly again, you have the 1,260 days, which is the first half, and then the 1,260 days for the last half. And this is going into the 7 years. But then again, we have in Revelation chapter 9 that it has been reduced to a 5-month period. And 150 days, just like in the time of Noah, the water came up for 150 days. The water in the end times is deception, not water to destroy, but deception to destroy your spirit if you let it. Then in the 1,335 days, which is in 1212, so you have this number 1,335 days. And all that is the 30 days for the cleansing and then the 45 days to have the nuptials and that feasting and things like that. So it's not really that hard. Tomorrow we'll put together all of it, which is from the commencement time up to Christ, and then we'll have the end pretty well set down with that. So, but there's a lot to really go over in that, which a lot of Bible verses and things like that in Revelation and Isaiah, Jeremiah, Daniel. I mean, so at it's just the purpose of this whole study is to prepare for the end and to know without a doubt the signs to look for. So we'll be going in through it more extensively and until everybody is comfortable with it, and be able to when we aren't able to gather anymore together with some periods of time that you'll be able to go out and just continue to study with confidence. Hey, hey, Aaron. Let's see, Savage Slayer. Let's see. See what everybody's up to. Eagle, mind. Let's see. Let's see. Aaron says, yeah, I think with this COVID crap, people are at home on the internet more. Yeah, I think so too. But people are really rebelling against that, demanding to open everything up again. Where was that? I know in California they're opening things up, but there's a place somewhere that just is going to open it up after this Trump debacle thing. Let's see. Yeah, and if you still don't get it, we're going to continue to go over it again. I mean, it sounds intimidating, but really, once you understand, it flows together. Let's see. Mine says, Christy, you think there will be a red heifer? There could be. They could, just watch for things. They have everything they need. So, and they have been waiting for this. It's just whatever prompts them to do that. So, definitely watch. And then you have that covenant that is supposed to last for 7 years. So I would imagine that they would be commencing as if that is the true Christ. I don't know. Or no, they would be commencing waiting because at the first half, he hasn't announced himself yet. So they might be doing all the sacrificial stuff. I don't know, it's gonna be weird going back to sacrificing and stuff. Let's see. Let's see. Slayer says, love the word of God. Going through the scriptures, finally found people that stand with the word of the Lord. Man, keep preaching the word. Ah, thank you, Savage, and you're welcome to stay in here. And everybody in here is very, very awesome people. Let's see. Aaron says there is claims that the third temple is well on its way behind the weeping wall, as I think Ezekiel or Enosh. Dang it. Enoch. I can't remember one of those to describe. It is hidden. Yeah, I had heard that they were building that up. It was like around like 2010 or 11, and they showed pictures of it and stuff. I don't know if that's the same one that you're talking about, but I haven't heard anything about it for a long time. But that was why they were getting the heifer and everything like that ready. And then when that red heifer was born, they're like, whoa, it's like a big deal. Let's see. Mine says buffers a little bit, but I play video a little back. Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't, and even if you reset or whatever, I think there's just a lot of traffic, with people on the internet. kind of. I'm sorry, Savage, you're getting buffered there. Let's go back here. Um, that weeping wall is, I think, Ezekiel or Enoch. I can't remember them. Well, this new one, new old one, you have the Noahide laws and kind of introduced us to that. And there's a lot of talk about it. So I don't know. Things are going to get interesting. Let's see. Aaron says, here's that site for everyone. And check this out, Christy. I think that this will provide information on what's going on as far as the whole presidency and the guest speaker. Ooh, cool. I can't wait. Let's see. Mine says, anyone see the video of Dubai and the two planets captured? No, can you post that? There's a lot of new stuff. Let's see. Eagle says the 20th, there is going to be a big storm and very cold, freezing weather. Yeah, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. I don't know, sometime around the 11th or 12th, there's a big, like freezing snowstorm coming here, and I'm thinking, wow, this could be that storm, remember? Um, where somebody dies, but I wouldn't be surprised. And then plus that's going to be going your guys' way over the Midwest and wherever else. Uh, I can't wait to watch all those. Let's see. Aaron says, I agree, Eagles. What has been done will be done. There is nothing new under the sun. He says the whole Bible is a repeat of the end times. Yep. Okay, Aaron says I'm going to post that site here shortly, Mikey, and anyone who wants to take a look, I suggest watching. It's very good, to say the least. Ooh. The OG says, great people here without a doubt. No one judges. No. And we don't allow judging in here either, you know. Somebody starts doing that, they can leave. Really, that's probably the most annoying thing about people. It can be so judgy. Let's see. OG says, your truck in the photo looks like mine when I go four-wheeling in the summer. That sounds like fun. We have like sand dunes here and over in Florence, which is south from here, just sand dunes, and you get the buggies, and it's a lot of fun. But since this COVID thing, I mean, nothing's open anymore. This planned demolition of society. It see, mine says I get to meet the two witnesses. Wow, in my flesh body. Yeah, they'll be in the Jerusalem area if you're delivered up. And I don't know how we get over there, but there's going to be technology there. There's going to be that one portal that's going to be open that people are going to be walking through like it's some sort of entertainment. But I was warned, don't do it. It is pretty scary once you go in there. But one of the fallen angels actually takes you in there. And there's like 9 doors. You walk in and it's like round, and there's 9 doors, and the one behind you that you just walked through. And the doors are just slightly open so you can see light, kind of that eerie light of this mystic type of light poking through. And then you're taken into one of them. You just pick a door, any door, and you go through, and it's like round. You walk through it, and it just opens up into another dimension. It's weird that our bodies would be able to do that, but uh, I almost got lost trying to get out of there, just getting out to the main gates. I don't think I'd want to do that. Let's see. It's out there. I can't copy paste. Well, what's the name of it? Let's see. Aaron says, I will try and find that link to the third temple, Christy, from the sky in Jerusalem and post it on tomorrow show. Oh, cool. Oh, Daniel's here. Hey, Daniel. I'm not getting in no portal. No, no, no. That's my worst nightmare. I kind of am a little claustrophobic, so I probably wouldn't be able to handle it. It's just too weird. Dubai, 2 planets. Okay. I will look for that. That sounds good. And then Aaron's gonna post those things about the temple tomorrow. Those sounds good. Let's see. Mikey says, oops, 1335, three strong triangular numbers. Yeah. Aaron says, so Christy has the two witnesses. Time's been shortened from 1,260 days to 3 days before the Antichrist. A lot of people are torn on that. I'm thinking 3 days. Yeah, it's been shortened way down. So you have, I mean, a day or two before that, before the Antichrist. So, but that's the sign. You'll see, hey, get prepared because things are going to change really fast at that time. And we're going to break that down a lot better to where we know what we're supposed to do. Whether this is just the woman in the wilderness, whether, we are taken out for a short time to come back in. And of course, it wouldn't be very long because the time itself is shortened. So 75 days on the first and 75 days on the last end of it. 5 months. I would say if it was like 10 days or so, or 5 days with the 7 year span, I would say about a day to watch. and I saw them coming off of a an arid mountain coming into Jerusalem. So, you know, maybe there'll be like footage or something like that, and hopefully we'll have the internet at that time. That would be so cool to see that. Could you imagine? And probably will have the internet because I saw like being on a show or something like that and talking about the end times and the things that are coming. And there was like a 2 week span of that. It was like this hurrying, trying to get all that. So there will be communication. But then again, it's going to be spotty from here on out. So just take it as it comes. Aaron says, yes, Christine, the third temple is set up exactly how it was back in the day of the Sanhedrin in Jesus' time. Same layout and everything. Ooh, that is so cool. I see Daniel says, did you see yourself talking with the two witnesses? I'm I'm wondering how that happens. I was just shown them coming down. It was first I saw like the two witnesses coming down the mountain, and then I saw Satan cast down as the dragon. So they come down and they're very stern. I didn't actually like see myself talking to them, but I will be in Jerusalem, and I think anybody who is in Jerusalem after you are delivered up, you could go talk to them. I mean, I'm gonna try to, but that's where they're gonna be, is right in that area, and you'll see the plagues and all that stuff going on. And so, wait a minute. Okay, so they have 1,260 days, but they die. Remember, they die and then they're raised 3.5 days. That's when Christ returns. So it could be 4 days, 4 or 5 days before. Wow, I didn't think about that, but yeah. Let's see. Savage says, ma'am, when talked about what happened to you and see when you were younger, including sister, how about you meet the Lord Jesus Christ? Yeah, I met Yeshua. I met a lot of the angels I had. Like my angel that like stayed around me was his name was Lucius or something like that. And I couldn't say it. It was just a weird name, so I called him Lurch. And from the Adams family, because he was really tall. Not that he was ugly or anything. He was beautiful, but um, I talked to Yahweh. Um, I saw the Holy Spirit, and I couldn't really talk to him, but he was there, and he made these groans. And the closer I got to him, the closer he got to me. So it's a very close relationship if you want that. But you got to work on it, just like with any relationship. Oh, you're welcome, Savage. Oh, he said, by the way, awesome glasses. I love it every time. Thank you. Okay, Eagle says, I believe that the internet will be up and running. That's how the locust will be in every home. Yeah, I don't know, it looked really, really bare at the time. Like during that time, a lot of people, instead of like going to the store and buying things like that, having things ready, it was more like food that they had canned and things like that. Although there's cars, people are driving cars, they're preparing. You have those who aren't preparing, but then you have your friends and loved ones and things like that who will be preparing with you. TV, though, I would think that that would be a way of communicating, of being like the Pope announcing things. So I would say that would be the way of communicating, like you said, like knowing what's going on. And as far as the time of the locust, kind of some sort of explanation from the Pope. It's gonna be weird. Very weird. I keep saying it, but it is. Let's see. Okay. Okay, let's see. Hmm. I don't know what this is saying, Savage, but it says, please tell us you got off the West Coast. Oh, okay, the typo. Nope, I'm still on the West Coast, but I'll be moving right around the time of that earthquake. So it's not going to be like super devastating, but everybody will know about it. And it'll be completely devastating if you're on the coastline. Um, but that is definitely the alarm. That is like the Trump to get ready. You have about 2 weeks to be able to spend your money and get where you need to go. And after that, it's all chaos. And if you don't have your stuff, say, you're like ordering stuff off Amazon and things like that, you gotta get all that stuff in that short amount of time because after that there won't be anything like that. But it might come back after the war and stuff. Depends, I guess, maybe in your area. But I know like the cities and stuff are really going to empty out. So you're not going to recognize America at all. I mean, it is going to be completely changed. So, okay, guys, hold on. My buzzer's going off for my chicken. Okay, back. All right, guys, so I'm going to wrap it up and we'll be back at it tomorrow. We've got lots of things to look at and I can't wait for the temple, Aaron. I really want to see that. Good night, Eagle. Okay. Good night, OG and Roxanne and Mind and Savage and Daniel and Aaron and Mind. I hope I didn't miss anybody. So I'll be back tomorrow at 4 and back at it again. Take care, all right? Bye.